Hola, señoritas, y bienvenue a Comido con John. Today we're doing some man cooking. We're doing some cooking crap. Right, how do we get both these rings on? Here we go. You never want to go in with one ring half lit. So, as those that follow the channel know, my cooking skills are not that good. Now the missus has deserted me and left me here on my own. So I have steak in proper man food. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. This is proper caveman cooking. And I'm going to cook the asparagus. Let's just let that oil heat up. Before we do, let's just get some seasoning on here. Because it's all in the seasoning, guys. Here's what I made earlier. So I'm home alone. So you're keeping me company here. If you've not seen on the main, I put this on the backup channel, obviously. If you've not seen the main channel, I'm in Lanzarote, staying in a really nice villa, and I've got details of that villa you can get from the description. I should really be doing a barbecue. I should really be going full Rambo mode with barbecue, but I can't be bothered. So I'll do that another day. I'm just going to do that. That's going to be heating up now. And we'll do the asparagus. Is probably going to just take, well, they're going to take about the same amount of time actually. So put those in there. Never wash these. That's the only tip I can give you for mushrooms, is never wash them. Because they go all wet, and then when you cook them, they release all the water, and then they're like, you can't get any colour or flavour in them. So what you should really do is just like get any chunks of the dirt off them, because they grow them in shit, or something very close to that. But we're doing this Rambo style, and of course, whenever I like to cook using one pan. No plates. And if you're a man, you eat off the breadboard. It's one less thing to wash up. So basically, I'm just going to cook all this stuff out. I want that asparagus to be nice and caramelised. And then we'll get a bit more oil on it, because these will soak up all the oil. And then all we'll do is put a little bit more seasoning on, squeeze some lemon all over that. And that'll be really nice. And then we'll quickly flash fry this steak, which to me, I don't think is, well, it might be nice. €7. I want the real expensive stuff, the solomillo. You know, if you're abroad and you don't know what the different steaks are. Oh shit. Don't hit your head on things. Then you just go on price, you know, it goes up to like €30 or something for a chunk of steak. That's the good stuff, but I'll go with the stuff you have to chew a bit longer. Chewy is my wallet. Anyway, while that's cooking away, I'll just show you around. Got football on in a minute, so I'll be watching the, what is it? Who's playing? Liverpool versus some Spanish club. I can't remember, Villarreal. The old manager, I can't remember his name. I guess, eh? So here's all the rooms. This one's all cleared out. I've showed you this in another video. There's a bathroom, another room in there, walk-in wardrobe, all that sort of stuff. Bedroom in there, another thing there, desk office up there, swimming pool outside. The outside's the best bit. Let me just make sure I'm not burning this. Turn that down a little bit, it's spitting. I have to feed the cat twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. I'm going to put the food down there. He comes over, this little cat comes over. He's wild. He won't let anyone get near him. But he's officially my only friend now on the island. So it's a bit like Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner. Is Tatonka, Tatonka. So the cat's my friend for the next 5 days. But I'm okay. I'm good in my own company. Right, we're getting some colour into that now, which is good. Let's take this utensil. You may have seen one of these. Give these a little flip. Yeah, they're getting some colour into them. Oh, Jesus. We've got a rogue one. Always a rogue one. Come back here, you. What? That's it. You need more oil going on here. Mushrooms soak up the oil. Let's get this thing on. Right. Just leave that for a bit longer. There's nothing worse than an undercooked mushroom. Oh, well, it probably is. So we've also got a swimming pool out here. Amazing views. It's pretty cloudy today. But it's been baking hot every other day. It's going to be baking hot tomorrow. There he is, down there. Another apartment that goes all the way along the length of the house. That's the front door. Living room's on the other side of that. And it's in a quiet cul-de-sac, so there's no noise. Look at that view. Can you see that? That is Fuerteventura, one of the other islands. I'm in the town of Puerto Galero, in the southeast of the strip of Lanzarote, which is a small island off of Africa, in the Atlantic. Right, they're looking pretty good now. So what we'll do, I said we'd eat off the breadboard, but let's go proper civilised mode. We can fire these back up a bit later on. It looks pretty good to me. It's enough for 2 there, isn't there? What we can do, that's been seasoned and rubbed with oil. So you can see the seasoning on it there. That's just going to go straight in. Smoking the place out. This will be my home, that corner. My derriere is going to get very familiar with that corner section there. It'll be like the Turin shroud, the Turin derriere. My arse is going to be leaving an imprint right there. And this, how do you know if you've not cooked it enough? If it eats the rest of your food, then it's undercooked. Or if it tries to make a runner, if it does a runner out the front door for the gate, you've not cooked it enough. Or if it's something's still pumping away in there. Enough of the humour. Have I got any sauces or anything to put with it? Well, we've got the lemon. I know we've got the lemon. So look at this healthy food here. Well, berries and beer. Could pour beer over it. I've got something here. What's this? Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, eh? Italiano. That'll do. Marmalada. Can't make up a sauce with that. I've got yoghurt. Could make up. There's no herbs, is there? No. No. So. Let's go tomato. We'll go full tomato. Mayonnaise will do. Just going to have a bit of this. Oomph. Oh. Hold on a second. Keep an eye on the straight for me. Go healthy. Put lemon water in here. Put this back in the fridge and then we'll check on our steak. This is real time cooking. Do the old Gordon Ramsay. Right, I'm getting on in. Yeah, that'll do. It's always nice to get that bit of caramelisation or burningness on the outside, so it's not, if you just cook it slowly without getting that colour on it, it's, it's like trying to eat into your wallet. It's got no taste. You've got to get a bit of taste in there, a bit of flavour. So the sun's out for a second. I'm reading. If you saw on my Instagram, reading this book that was written by my dad about the Phasos disc, which was a disc that was found. There were a few of them found. I haven't read the book yet. There were a few of them found in the Minoan town. I can't remember what it's called. Phasos. I think. And they couldn't work out what the disc is, what all these symbols are. There's been numerous attempts to translate it over the years, and they were always like about stories of, some epic war, or, it's like a prayer to a god, or it was with some grand allusion to it, or something grand about it. But the theory of this book, and my dad's theory, was that this was actually a shopping list, because Phasos is on the island of Crete, which was a very important island many, many years ago. Early civilizations, really rich, wealthy place that formed like a important middle ground in the Mediterranean between parts of Africa and Europe and all that sort of stuff. So an important island, very rich. They found a few of them, and they were all different, I think. And it just makes sense. And in the book, it explains what he thinks all of the different symbols mean. And a lot of the times, they are things that they would have needed to order into the island. So he thinks they were stamping the clay disc with these symbols, like little things that they had ready, and then they could give the disc to someone, and then that person could, go and get all like a shopping list, basically, and it would come in on the boats. So it's like that. Now I haven't read the book yet. I'm working my way through it. But if his theory was right, and I'll wait till I've read it all. The one thing that interests me is if the clay was wet, so they could restamp it, because there were signs that some of them had been restamped. You could sometimes see faint symbols underneath showing it had been restamped. So if the clay was wet and hadn't been fired, and then whatever happened to the civilization, it was wiped out, whatever, earthquake or whatever happened, civil war or whatever, those clay discs would have dried out. But have they actually analysed them to see if those clay discs were ever fired in a kiln to make them hot, like a clay pot? Because if you did fire them, if you were making a story to the gods or a story of war, you'd make the disc and then you'd fire the disc to make it hot, to turn it into hard clay. So if you could historically take the Phasos disc and identify if it had been fired or not in a kiln, if it hadn't been fired and they kept it wet, then that to me would reinforce. How do I turn this off? There. beyond a shadow of a doubt that what my dad was saying was true. Because if it was an epic story or a homage to the gods, you wouldn't leave it in wet clay. But you would if it was something, you'd leave it in wet clay if you wanted to periodically change it, like your shopping list, and use it again. So there we go. Right, there's my dinner. Jesus, I'm not going to eat all that. I'll probably get about half of it and I'll save that for a sandwich. So that's Forensics first. Real, live, genuine cooking video. What a load of rubbish. Actually, I've done one before on kebabs, haven't I? So there we go. Steak, mushrooms, asparagus and mayonnaise alla forensic detailing. But let me know your thoughts on the Fasos disc. Things like that are fascinating to me. When I've read it, I might go back out to Crete and go and have a look around and, see, because it's fascinating. He was very much into Rennes le Chateau as well, my dad, if you know the story of Rennes le Chateau, the true story, or the true, not story, but the true theory of Rennes le Chateau, and the treasure of Saunier. He was very much into that as well, all sorts of things. But this Fasos disc thing is fascinating. So, adios amigos, hasta luego, hasta la pronto, y hasta la pasta. Adios.